Hello and welcome to this Lawyers for Learners series of short videos on rental housing basics. In this video, I'm going to be talking about security deposit tips, and specifically ones on how to get that security deposit back at the end of your lease. My name is Darius. I am a legal studies major at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater and one of the administrators at the Economic Justice Institute and Neighborhood Law Clinic at the University of Wisconsin-Madison Law School. So, security deposit and tips on how to get it back. If you've not watched our other video on security deposit basics and what exactly a security deposit is and the requirements about that, feel free to check that out. But a couple of tips that you can look at to getting that deposit back at the end of your lease is first, and probably the biggest one that's going to cover all the umbrella category for all of them, is keep good records. So that involves keeping a copy of your lease, either a physical or digital copy. I know most people nowadays don't keep physical paper around for very long, but once you get that lease, take your phone out, get pictures of every single page or scan it in through a printer somewhere and keep a digital copy of that lease available. That's going to be very helpful at the end of that lease for just as a good source of records and for proving that you followed through on your fulfillment of that lease. Take photos and videos of the rental unit when you move in and when you move out. This is a great way to do like a before and after compare and contrast to show that the condition of the unit is still in pretty good shape or in whatever shape it's in when you move out. Highly recommend taking your phone and your camera again and doing a walkthrough of the unit and recording every room, getting a good visual of the whole setting. And then when you move out, go back and do an identical walkthrough just to show, hey, this is the shape it was in when I moved in. Here's how it looks when I move out. And that's going to help prove that any damages, that if the property owner tries to withhold any of your deposit for damages, you can say, hey, this is the condition it was in when I moved in. This is the condition when I moved out. You can prove that it was not caused by you. If you file any maintenance requests for getting anything repaired while you are living in the unit, keep records of those maintenance requests, especially if you have any repeat requests, like if you have to call for maintenance multiple times for a damaged toilet that's leaking, or any requests that you submit that don't get fulfilled. Keep records of those and keep records of the dates that you make them on. That way at the end, if that toilet has damaged the floorboards underneath, but you can say, hey, I asked you to fix this 4 times, it's going to make it very hard for the property owner to prove damages on that, or at least prove that you as the renter are at fault for those damages. And also keep records of any communications you make with the landlord or property owner, especially about issues. If you have to email them or send them a text message or submit any kind of request for something to be resolved, keep a record of that so you can show that you let them know that this was an issue that needed to be resolved. And also, possibly one of the most important ones here, keep good payment records. If you're paying in cash, you have a right to request a written receipt for that payment for any utilities or for rent, whatever it is. If you're paying in cash, get a written receipt to prove that you made that payment. If you're paying with a money order, either keep the little receipt that it comes with or take a picture of it and keep an accurate record of paying for that. If you're paying with bank checks, those will automatically create a record at your bank that you can then pull up later, just so long as you keep access to that account. If you close that account, download those records beforehand. And if you're paying through an online payment portal, request an emailed receipt if that's an option. Otherwise, get screenshots or download any receipts that they give you just to prove that you've made those payments. Because a lot of times with those online payment portals, as soon as you move out, your access to those can get closed down, and then you don't have the ability to just go in and pull that record anymore. So make sure you keep accurate records of those in places that you will have access to afterwards. Here's a list of resources within the state of Wisconsin that you can reference for other issues regarding security deposits or evictions or getting maintenance repairs done on your property, and otherwise just good legal resources to have at your disposal. Feel free to reach out to any of them if you have any questions or if you are struggling with an issue as a tenant in the state of Wisconsin. Thank you for joining me for this presentation.